thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul.
With the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card, earn unlimited 2% cash back on purchases you want, like dance lessons.
Ow, ow, ow.
And on what you need, like memory foam inserts. Ah, that's real life ready. Visit wellsfargo.com/activecash. Terms apply.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon, turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. But you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we
what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till our downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
I was born to hate Jews. It was part of my life. I never questioned it. I was not born in Iran or Syria. I was born in England. My parents moved there from Pakistan. Theirs was the typical immigrant story. Moved to the West in the hope of making a better life for themselves and their children. We were a devout Muslim family, but not extremist or radical in any way. We only wished the best for everyone. Everyone except the Jews. The Jews we believed were aliens living in stolen Muslim land, occupiers who were engaged in a genocide against the Palestinian people. Our hatred, therefore, was justified and righteous, and it made me and my friends vulnerable to the arguments of radical extremists. If the Jews were as evil as we had always believed, mustn't those who support them, Christians, Americans, and others in the West, be just as evil? Beginning in the 1990s, speakers and teachers at mosques and in schools began to endlessly repeat this theme. We were not Western, we were not British, we were Muslims, first and only. Our loyalty was to our religion and to our fellow Muslims. We owed nothing to the Western nations that welcomed us. As Westerners, they were our enemies. All of this had its desired effect. At least, it did on me. It changed the way that I saw the world. I began to see the suffering of Muslims, including in Britain, as the fault of Western imperialism. The West was at war with us, and the Jews controlled the West. My experience at university in Britain only enhanced my increasingly radical beliefs. Hating Israel was a badge of honor. Stage an anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian rally, and you were sure to draw a large, approving crowd. While at university, I decided the protests and propaganda against Israel were not enough. True jihad demanded violence. So I made plans to join the real fight. I would leave college and join a terrorist training camp in Pakistan. But fortunately for me, fate intervened. In a bookstore. I came across a book called The Case for Israel by Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz. The Case for Israel? What case could there be? The title itself made me furious, and I began to read the pages almost as an act of defiance. How ill-informed, how stupid could this guy be to defend the indefensible? Well, he was a Jew. That had to be the answer. Still, I read. And what I read challenged all of my dogmas about Israel and the Jews. I read that it wasn't Israel that created the Palestinian refugee crisis. It was the Arab countries, the United Nations, and the corrupt Palestinian leadership. I read that Jews didn't exploit the Holocaust to create the State of Israel. The movement to create a modern Jewish state dated back to the 19th century, and ultimately to the beginnings of the Jewish people almost 4,000 years ago. And I read that Israel is not engaged in genocide against the Palestinians. On the contrary, the Palestinian population has actually doubled in just 20 years. All this did was make me angrier. I needed to prove Dershowitz wrong, to see with my own eyes how racist and oppressive Israel really was. So I bought a plane ticket. I would travel to Israel, the home of my enemy. And that's when everything changed. Everything. What I saw with my own eyes was even more challenging than what Dershowitz had written. Instead of apartheid, I saw Muslims, Christians, and Jews coexisting. Instead of hate, I saw acceptance and even compassion. I saw a raucous, modern, liberal democracy, full of flaws, certainly, but fundamentally decent. I saw a country that wanted nothing more than to live in peace with its neighbors. I saw my hatred melting before my eyes. I knew right then what I had to do. Too many people on this planet are consumed with the same hatred that consumed me. They have been taught to despise the Jewish state. Many Muslims by their religion, many others by their college professors or student groups. So here is my challenge to anyone who feels this way. Do what I did. Seek out the truth for yourself. If the truth could change me, it can change anyone. I'm Qasim Hafiz for Prager University.
To subscribe to our YouTube channel, click here. To help keep our videos free, donate here.
is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul.
close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. But you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
you won. Let's have a bit of fun till our downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
Oh, you know what I was going to ask you guys about? This might be too much.
Yeah.
We ask every guest this question, but I think we let ourselves off the hook when it was our episode. So I want to know about your first crush.
I'm pretty sure I mentioned mine.
Did
so
we answer that?
I'm not. The clock is ticking, Sophie. Go.
Penn is not participating.
I was just filled with feelings.
Really?
I mean, which one, you know?
Your
I
password
feel
was boy crazy
The first
99,
one.
wasn't it?
yeah, boy crazy 64, I think. But, you know, kind of like our guest today, you'll hear him say that his first crush he can remember was in kindergarten. I think me too. Like
Yeah,
it
mine
was
too,
so
actually.
early. I think I was 6 years old. I remember there was a boy who was like a neighbor, and we performed the tango for our parents, and he had held a rose between his teeth. I remember that
When you were
vividly.
5.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You have very colorful, like, romantic stories, Sophie. I love them. As an aside, I really one day want to write a screenplay about Sophie's different love stories. She knows this. I interviewed her once, and I still think about it. Maybe one day. My first crush was also in kindergarten. His name was Giancarlos Ortega. He had beautiful green eyes, and I would think about him every day at nap time. That was,
Every day.
That's so cute.
At nap time.
I would I would drift into nap time thinking about Giancarlo.
That is
Counting
so. It's funny because it's
Giancarlos's.
poetic and it just seems so mature. And you were 5.
5.
It's just it's funny.
Nava's
to
always had
think-
it in her.
Yeah. No, look, I mean, I can remember those very deep stirrings of like that feeling at that age and having a crush. There was, I don't quite remember her name. It was like Christine or Christina. I don't remember which one. And it was like it was a thing, you know, a crush. But wow, the fact that we at that age are having like
those big
whatever
feelings.
notions those are. It's just I want to
Yeah.
know more about the psychology and the biology of that. You know who isn't going to be able to tell us anything about that is well, not only none of us, but not our guest today.
Yeah.
We've got so much else. That this was a lovely conversation. I was going to say it's one of my favorite conversations. I might say that a lot, but it ends up being true in its own way every time.
Just wait, because Penn, in this episode, there is a moment where he falls in love with our guest.
Yeah,
You'll hear it,
yeah.
and I will name it, but
Yeah, you do
there's
name
a
it.
moment.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
actually, I'm not
But
kidding.
watch
I
this
don't-
one on YouTube because you can see it on. I'm like, I think Penn is about to propose to Rami. Penn is in love.
Tears came to my eyes after the moment passed because I was just like, it was refreshing. You'll hear it, whatever. You
Yeah.
don't need to build it up. Now the bar is really high, and it's gonna be. But yeah, so we have Rami Youssef. He's if you don't know who that is already, he's a comedian, actor, writer, director. He's got a huge show that he won. We're still unclear if it's an Emmy or Golden Globe for his show, which is his own name, Rami. It's about a millennial Muslim American navigating the realities and absurdities of modernity and identity. Could we get any more itties in there? While the fictional Rami struggles to find his place in the world, that is just not the case with this one. He's killing it. He's killing the game. He's got a Peabody, 2 Golden Globes. He's co-created Netflix's Mo from the comedian Mo Amer. I think I'm saying that name correctly. I hope I am. Rami was just a delight, and he really, really drilled into our very premise of this whole middle school period. So we hope you stick around. Welcome to Pod Crushed. We're your hosts. I'm Penn,
I'm Nava,
And I'm Sophie.
and I think we could have been your middle school besties.
practicing our secret handshake that we do publicly, but is still somehow a secret.
I don't know if you know this, on the way up here, there's like the guys who do the scanning card.
Yeah, down at the
Yeah.
this
Do you
front
talk
desk.
to them?
Yeah,
Okay, they love you.
I know.
They know your because they know your whole IMDb.
know,
This guy was
I
like
know, actually,
walking
I
me
know.
through like Easy A. He's walking me through all the seasons
Yeah.
of You. Like he was just like, you know who you're seeing, right? And then I'm just like, no, I know. And then he just like went through the whole obsessed with you.
No,
I was
I've
just making
actually,
sure that
I know,
you-
over time
okay.
I've discovered that, and I'm,
Okay.
you know, the few of them I've spoken with a lot, and yeah, it's.
He takes them to
it's very
coffee every
touching.
morning to brief them on how to greet a guest. Like,
Make sure
I
you
was
tell
just
them
making sure,
about.
'cause I-
don't forget that I was
Tucker
the
must
other
die.
Tucker.
I had this.
Don't leave out the stepfather.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
not-
yeah. And they didn't. The stepfather came up. I mean, this was all during just the check-in process.
Yeah, which
You know,
takes
they were
all
just
of
ready.
2 minutes. Not
It's a
even.
2-minute process that became 10 because there's just like genuine enthusiasm
That's
for you.
funny, man.
But we had this like conversation about Easy A, which is such a good
That's
film.
really sweet.
Yeah, it's so fun.
That's true. I'm just gonna have a real hot takey first question.
Please.
You were what? Around about, I think you were in middle school as a Muslim in America after 9/11.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Very accurate.
So what was that like?
You know, it's wild. Like, I've been thinking about this period of time a lot. I didn't think about that period for like 15 years. Like, I just didn't even, it like happened, and I think it was really intense, and then I tried to just act like it didn't happen.
Right.
Then we did this episode of it in the first season of my show on Hulu, and then we got to, you know, I was writing all this stuff about the period, and then I was like, whoa, there's a lot that I didn't ever process.
Right.
And I think the big thing was, it was just this thing of like, there was only a few Muslim families, and then you kind of see what's happening on the news and whatever, and there's this fear, and we were right outside New York too. So we're, you know, my dad's working in New York. Everyone has family there. And I think I realized many years later, the level of fear wasn't just people kind of coming in, it was that self-fear of like, oh wait, is what people are saying about us true? So there's this like fear you have of yourself. And I think that to me was the most interesting thing to zone into as I was writing. And then now we're doing this like really wild animated show set in 2001 in middle school. It's about this family that, which I think is kind of real to where we were, where you're kind of getting looked at so much that there's this performance you start doing of like, no, we're so cool. Like, you can't be afraid of us. And so the animated show is about this father with his kids, and, you know, it's a whole family really, but he sets out, you know, after that day to say that they're not just going to be the best fit, they're going to be like the #1 family. And the show is called #1 Happy Family USA.
Such a great name. It's
but
perfect.
that act of that performance though, and kind of like, I think, you know, we're performers and we have like a natural desire to want to be liked. But then it's like really amped up where you're like, oh man, I feel like I'm playing mega defense right now.
Right. This idea of like, oh, is what, as you said, is like they say about us true, you know, the quote unquote they and the quote unquote us.
Right.
Like, I'm kind of interested, like at that time, what were some of those things, you know?
I mean, like, I always put it this way where it's like, you know, this is where like the word minority feels really real, because you're like, there are just fewer of us, you know? There's like the majority, there's the minority, you know? So it's just like, quite simply, there's fewer of us. And then you're like, okay, so who are the Muslims I know? My parents, right? And then I'm a kid and my parents are my enemy half the time. Right. So, and then everyone's like, you know, and Muslims are the enemy. And I'm like, well, these guys have already been like telling me to clean my room when I don't want to. These guys, like, I kind of have some beef with them to begin with. I love them, but you know, they're difficult. And now there's a larger case being made against them. You know, where do I fall? What side am I going to be on? And obviously, you know, joking aside, it was just this you know, this fear of like not knowing. You know, there's just this not knowing, and you know, when you don't have information and everything's very emotional, that self-fear was a part that I didn't realize for a really long time, and then, you know, I think it for me created ultimately an intimacy with my faith and intimacy with the various communities that I'm a part of, because there was that fear, and then I was like, well, wait, is that true? And then realizing, of course it's not true, that, you know, the way we're being painted has nothing to do with who we actually are and how we live. But there was like a closeness that ended up being created in that quest to figure that out, that I'm actually really appreciative of, you know, just that thing of like, going through those experiences. But, you know, being in middle school at the time, it was wild.
So you said you didn't have maybe any other Muslim friends, is that right? Or like there were just a few other families you knew?
It was like, it was like 2 families in our town. And then it was, there was like a couple people we kind of knew, but it wasn't, you know, we weren't in the middle of a community. I know people who move to the States, but then they like, a bunch of people from their home country get, you know, spots in the same community, and they all go to the same activities and do all that. We weren't part of that. That wasn't that wasn't what we had going on. Yeah.
So it was maybe like, I know that for like a young white kid during this time period, happens to be the same time, but just middle school is like I'm trying to think of what I might have thought about identity, and I think one of the strange things about whiteness is that it has the myth of like not being an identifier. You know, it's
Right.
like, it's the myth of a universal identity. And now I think like our current middle schoolers are thinking so much about identity. You know, so there's kind of like opposites there, and I'm just wondering maybe if this was like the one. It must have added a new dimension to the way you were thinking about identity, right? I mean,
yeah, it did. I mean, like I already had I think it was already front and center just by like not doing Christmas, which is very traumatic.
Yeah.
It's like deeply like, whoa, you know, I mean, this is big, you know, like, so when you're young and you know the truth about Christmas, it's like a really big burden because you kind of can't tell anybody.
The
you know?
truth?
Yeah, the truth.
is it about Santa or Jesus? Which one?
It's about Santa. We rock with Jesus. We do. We rock with
That's
Jesus.
Of course.
Yeah. There's some like different specifics we have on.
I should.
but,
No, and I actually do know that. I
We
want to
have-
clarify.
Yeah.
We are Baha'i. All three of us happen to be Baha'i. Have you ever heard of the Baha'i faith?
Of course.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
is this true, Nava and Sophie? I don't think you grew up with Christmas either.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, and I grew up in Puerto Rico, which is intensely Christian.
They love
and
Christmas.
there aren't even like Muslims or Jews really. There's like a
Wow.
few, not
Yeah.
in my school. So I was the only other religion, and it was
Yeah.
very strange to not celebrate.
Yeah, I spent my formative years in the Philippines, which
Yeah.
is like very Catholic, very Christmas heavy. So yeah, and when you said it's kind of traumatic, I was like,
I feel you.
Oh, right. I mean,
there
just
with
like
you.
to not
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
like, and then you. Yeah, you feel cynical, and you know it's like you don't have an imagination.
Yeah.
And then and you can't say it. I remember being pulled like as teacher was like, dude, you gotta stop.
Wow.
You gotta stop saying. And I'm like, saying what? You know, she's like, that Santa's not real. I'm like, but he's not. And she goes, yeah, I know, but. But no, let's just keep it down. And I'm like, am I getting in trouble for telling the truth? I mean, this is crazy. And the thing is, there's like real life is magical.
Yeah,
like a small
yes.
seed,
I
a
couldn't
small
agree
seed
more.
becomes a tree.
Yes.
Why do we gotta say
Oxygen.
this like big dude goes through the chimney?
I
the
know.
parents don't get credit for like maxing out their credit cards. The whole thing is dark. Like it doesn't make any sense.
I fully agree. So, all right.
and still have Christmas.
Yeah.
It's just the Santa part. Why?
Right,
You know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
We're gonna
it's
name
not-
this episode "Taking Down Christmas" with Rami Youssef.
No, but the problem is that'll be really volatile because then there's a war against Christmas, which is a
it-
whole other.
It
That's
will be great
basically
numbers
like
for us, so you will
So-
fall under
so thank you,
the
Rami.
bus. Under there, we're just.
I don't want to be part of the war. Okay, here's what I'll say. In terms of the war against Christmas, I don't like happy holidays. I like Merry Christmas, especially when it's Christmas week.
Right, because of what other
Yeah.
holidays?
What other
there?
holidays are there? You
This
know,
last
just the
one-
week of Christmas.
Sometimes though it will be Hanukkah.
Sometimes it'll be Hanukkah.
So.
But I know my friends who do Hanukkah. I know my friends who do, you know what I mean? So I guess
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
You can be
okay, maybe
specific.
if you're Macy's, you gotta say it, but don't say happy. You know, let's just say Merry Christmas.
yeah, that's fair.
So just for anyone out there who might think I have a war against, I really don't have a war against Christmas. I say it's against Santa, who is not in the text.
Yeah, who's not real?
Yeah,
Santa's
yeah,
not in the
fair.
text.
None of them.
So if we want to get textual,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's no issue with what I'm saying.
I'm curious. You describe feeling a more intimacy with your faith and with your culture, and that's so interesting to me. I feel like you can go one of two ways. If you feel like you're not fitting in
Yeah.
with the mainstream, you can either like eschew what makes you different, or you can embrace it and become really close to it. And I wonder, at that young age, I think it's tempting to try to fit in. And so what was it in your life? What did your parents do? What was it in you that sort of pushed you to just become closer and more intimate with the things that made you different?
Yeah, I think you're totally right. There's sometimes this wanting to erase, and I just knew that felt really incorrect. I just knew there was too much love I had felt in those spaces.
That's cool.
And so I said, okay, well, I'm scared. I have, this is like I know I'm young and I feel this like information issue but yeah, so it kind of set me on a bit of like a fact-finding mission where I was like, okay, I'm scared. It's created a self-fear, but I also feel like that's probably off too. I just need to know the truth, And so, and again, I think the thing that I also felt was like just watching the news and seeing everything, I did know, these are the same people who also propagate Santa. So they're probably lying about this too.
Yes.
I mean, that's true. It's a
amazing.
good
That
joke,
is
but it's also true. That's why I didn't laugh, because I was appreciating the profundity first. You're not wrong.
I tried to just get it out.
You're not.
At
you're not
10,
wrong.
he already knew that late stage capitalism was ruining everything.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on the Christmas industrial complex.
Well,
I have two follow-ups. What was your relationship like with your family? Like, I mean, you made the joke about sort of hating them and loving them, but like, what was it like? And tell us more about your faith. Sort of like it seems to be a really prominent part of your life. Is it something that you felt early on? Did you ever struggle with your Muslim identity? I'd love to hear more about that.
I have the best parents. They're awesome. They're, my favorite thing about my parents is that anything that bothers me about our relationship or anything that happened as a kid was truly just like, well, they didn't know. You know what I mean? It's just like we all like, it's so clear, and it's like you don't like. And I think it's also interesting too when you look at grandparents, because it's like you look at grandparents and you look at parents and you look at how your parents parent, and then you can get a vibe off your grandparents, and then you're like, and I love my grandparents, and they did the best they knew, but it's like you kind of look at it, and I was always like, oh man, my parents are dope. Like they do things really different from both their sets of parents. Yeah. So I really appreciated that. And then any frustration, I was like, well, not everyone can do anything, can do everything. I mean, and so I definitely always had this deep respect for where they were at and what they were trying to do. And, especially, just not being from this country. Right.
Yeah.
And then I think just the simplest way I can even put the faith relationship was since I was a kid, knew there is this, like I loved praying. Like I just loved this private conversation with God, and I knew
Pen
like
is
that. I
falling in
do
love
that.
with you.
Yeah, I'm just like, I do.
Pen loves
that's
you,
real.
Rami.
Dude,
Like that's so real. How is that not?
I knew it. I knew it watching your show. I knew it. I was just like, there's no way this man won't say this today.
Of course.
And they even laughed at me because I had a question about that.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just beautiful to hear somebody say that unabashedly because you just don't hear it that much.
Sure.
Yeah.
And like, as a,
Or people
at
say
least
it and
in our culture.
apologize.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
that unapologetic, just clear, direct faith, and that can mean so many things.
It can mean so many things, but it's like, look, like we all have a relationship with the unseen, right? And so to me, prayer is this really beautiful, faithful, leading with love connection to the unseen, as opposed to sitting in like only my fears and anxieties, which is also like sitting in your fear and anxiety is a form of praying because you're just sitting with
in
the
your
unseen.
mind. Yeah, right. Yeah,
you're just
yeah,
sitting.
yeah.
You're sitting with what you can't see, right? But it's like, what version of sitting with what you can't see do you want to have? And so it's like, do you want the one that's aspirational? Do you want the one that's like building something that is, has accountability and has love and has, I mean, and I don't blame people for not saying it really openly just because, like religion's become like a dark business.
Yeah,
so
much.
it's like, I'm not, the last couple swings at it, the immediate, I would say, preceding generations, not great, so I'm totally, I get the landscape, but also, to me, this is real.
Yeah.
You know?
Can I just say as an aside, sorry, Pen, I know you're
please.
so happy and you want to jump in.
We only have so much time. And
I love talking about religion publicly. One of my favorite
we all
things to
do.
do for a number of reasons. But I think also that it's like not fair to not acknowledge that religion in our hands is subject to all the forces that everything else is. So just like science is subject to the forces of late stage capitalism and there's corruption in that. Of course there's also corruption in religion. It doesn't mean that you throw away science. So why do people who have faith have to throw away religion or pretend that it's not like a part of their lives that is meaningful just because it's touched by those same forces?
Well, it's like anything emotional and intimate,
is,
right? So it's even like the business we work in. It's like a set can be the most people are at their creative peak doing something that's like an offering for the world. Yeah. Or it can be like a really dark, twisted, ego-driven thing.
Yeah.
And people go along with it because they know there's something at the core that's really beautiful, but it's like in these like really bad hands. And so it's like you see it in almost anything that means anything.
It's true.
There's like the version that's awesome and you just feel like the most alive you've ever felt. And then there's a version that's just dark.
Gets manipulated. And
It's
yeah,
true.
yeah, totally. You have found this way to almost everything we've been talking about, you have converted into some kind of award-winning or in development and probably soon to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, you don't have to acknowledge it or whatever, but it seems to be true. Like, you know, from your stand-up to your show and to the things you're developing now with your company, it seems like you're just directly translating the things you care most about into like really relatable projects, which is ultimately the work of an artist, you know? I mean, it's like, so I guess I'm curious about two things. So one is we at the podcast, but also just we culturally don't hear a lot of younger, cooler people talking about prayer and like mysticism, like the mystical dimension to religion and spirituality. And because you said as a child you loved prayer, that to me, like as a person who was not encouraged to pray until I found faith on my own in my 20s, and then have just like reclaimed it with such a vigor, you know, and I'm just like, where was this when I was 12 and depressed? You know, literally, like, so I want to hear about what that was, just what was your relationship to prayer or to that special mysterious place in us all? And then art. Like what was your, because that's related to art. That's part of the muse process. And what was your relationship to like, what kind of artist were you becoming, performer, whatever?
When I was a kid, I just loved cameras. And I think it's because I watched my dad would work like crazy shifts, but then he'd come home after doing like an overnight or something, and we'd be waking up and he'd pull out the video camera. Like he just loved videotaping us.
That's cool.
Like it was like his, you know, and it was
That's
that
very
era.
sweet. It sounds sweet.
Oh, it's so sweet. We have we're like well documented children. That's cool. like I can like look back and I don't even know if I have memories of being a kid or if I'm remembering the videos because I've seen them. Like I'm not sure.
That's kind of precious.
Yeah. Like I feel like my memory is like online starting like 11. Like before that, I don't know how much I actually know. In general, I have kind of not the greatest memory. Like, and I don't even. I used to frustrate me, but I am very much not wanting to be in the past that much, for better or for worse. Is just kind of, I guess, how I am. I can't. It's not even a choice. It's just I'm just like here, you know. But yeah, that the obsession with cameras and making things was really early for me. Like I remember it was the first thing I saved up for as a kid, and I remember waiting for the package to come in the mail. And I don't know if you like just being younger, like when like it took forever for something to come.
Yeah, it was great.
Just you hear the truck on your street, and you're like, today might be my day, and then it isn't, and then you know, and then it just goes by, and I'd be so upset for like the 2 hours after that, you know, because I've been waiting for that sound. But I would go around the neighborhood and I'd make things and I would, you know, put my friends in them and then I would edit them. And then slowly I kind of started to be like, oh, I'll be in something, you know, and I'd put myself in something. And it was all really organic because I never thought it would ever amount to anything professional, you know, even to the point where when I left high school, I had just finished doing my last play, and I remember telling my high school theater teacher, I was like, oh man, this is the last time I'm going to perform on stage.
Wow, that's interesting.
And she's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, yeah, because I got to go to school. And like,
but didn't you studied political science, but didn't you also have some other thing in performing?
Yeah, so what happened was, so I'm leaving high school and I'm going to Rutgers to study political science and economics. And I'm like, that's it, you know, because I couldn't imagine that I'd be able to make a career out of what I was doing in high school. But then, you know, my buddies who I was doing sketch comedy with were like, well, let's just go to an improv jam at midnight. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I could do that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like I thought life was just going to turn on and like real world would happen after high school. I was so just blind to anything else. I thought the whole world was just going to change the second I went to college. But then it was like, no, I still like performing. I still like doing these things. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll take an acting class. You know, like it kind of snuck up on me until I, you know, but I never did it thinking it would be a career. So it was in a sense, when I look back at it, I realize how there was something pure about me doing it, certainly as a young kid, but even the older I got, in that I was just doing it because I loved it, and I was like, but this is probably going to end here, you know.
That's pure though. That's beautiful.
It had that thing, like